Hello, beautiful people. I'm Julie, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Grace and Grit and Coffee, where all three are sometimes necessary. Today, we're going to talk about cutting out toxic people in our lives, as much as possible anyway. This will help us have a more peaceful life. But before we get started, will you please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and tap the bell. That way, you'll be notified of upcoming episodes when they come out. I'd love to have you join me whenever you can. Now let's get moving. I'm taking on the challenge of cutting out a few toxic people from my life for good. Let's see how I handle that drama. You know, toxic people can be really draining, and it's crazy how much energy and time we waste on them. They're the ones who always make us feel bad about ourselves, or who constantly criticize and belittle us, who make us feel like we are less than lovable. Now, sometimes what they say can be overt or sneaky and underhanded, and we don't really realize that it was a slap in the face until it was too late. People doing this, they could be anybody you meet. They could be friends or family, romantic partner, boss, coworkers, neighbor. And sometimes we just don't realize how toxic they are until it's too late. You know, when we're in a toxic relationship, it feels like we're walking on eggshells all the time. We never know when the next shoe is going to drop. We don't know when the next big explosion is going to happen. It could be something completely insignificant, and it's like the world has just blown up with them, and you're stuck managing all the emotions. Now, toxic emotions, or toxic relationships, can also cause some serious health issues, emotional distress, being anxious, distressed, unhappy, feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It's because all of that negativity that person is bringing into your world is landing straight on you. And unless you can step back and take a long distance view at the picture of what's going on, you'll never really understand what it is that's happening. You'll always be self-doubting. You know, am I doing well? How do I look today? Did I make the right meal? Did I bring home enough money for this person? It's just going to feel like you're not good enough. You'll hear that voice, their voice, going off in your head, constantly telling you that you're not worthy of love or respect. But I want you to know that you are. You are worthy of love and respect, and you can do so much better than that. You are a kind human being. You're probably in this relationship because of your kindness, because of your goodness, because of wanting to help someone, wanting to be an assistant to someone in some sort. So how do we get out of these toxic situations? Well, it starts by recognizing who it is that might be toxic in our life. Now, for some of us, that might be easier said than done. You know, sometimes we can't cut out the toxic people very easily. Sometimes they're a family member or a spouse, maybe a sibling, maybe even a child. And that makes things very difficult. You have to get in touch with a professional to make sure that you're handling it correctly. Never cut out children. There's always ways. I know they can be challenging, but never cut them out. Unless they're adult children and they know better. So then you have a different problem going on. But a toxic person is going to make you feel like you're overwhelmed. You're exhausted, even before the end of the day. They're going to make you feel negative. You might have a headache. You might have stomach issues or heart issues or stress issues because of them. Now, if after a certain amount of time with this person, you start to feel those things, you have a pretty good indicator right there. The body knows the score, and the body keeps the score. So if your body is saying, I just feel horrible after I've been with this person, then you have to examine what it is that you're going to do. Next is sometimes you can reduce your interaction with people. You can. If it's a coworker, maybe you need to find a new job. If it's a boss, maybe you probably need to find a new job. But if you feel like you're undervalued and underappreciated all the time, then maybe it's time to make a change. You can try setting boundaries with people. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes even we fail at keeping our boundaries in place. And that can be challenging because then we beat up ourselves for being angry at ourselves for not keeping a boundary in place. But don't beat yourself up. After years and years of giving to people, it's hard to make a new change. I also want to suggest that you take time to help yourself heal. It might look like doing something that you enjoy. It might look like getting around people who make you feel good about yourself. It might mean going to therapy. It might mean getting involved in a church group or a community group. Find people who make you feel good about you being you. All right. You'll find that when you start to reduce the amount of toxic time with people, you're going to start feeling better. It'll feel like there's actually sunshine coming through those gray clouds. You deserve to be treated better, and I hope that you understand that. I mean, in your heart of hearts, I hope you understand that because it's important. That feeling of freedom and clarity is amazing. Once you have it, you're not going to want to go back to being mistreated. So, just to go over it real quick, take your own blood pressure check. How are you feeling after you've been around a certain person? If you're feeling tense or anxious, maybe it's time to reduce some of your FaceTime with them as much as possible. Give yourself that breathing room, that room to heal. Now, if you are dealing with a toxic person in your life, put it in the comments below and share a bit of your story with us. You sharing helps other people to begin to heal as well. So, again, I just want you to know that you are valuable. You are loved. You are worthy of love. You're a good person. You just happen to have some unhealthy people feeding you false information. So, thank you for joining me today. Again, please hit that like button, subscribe, tap that bell, leave a comment below, and let's go ahead and plan on meeting again tomorrow. Take care. Love you.